All right, we gonna do this?
Yeah.
We're just going off it right now.
Yeah. This can be like little blooper intro.
All right.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first podcast ever that we're ever gonna do. My name is Nene,
I'm Brandon.
and this is Let's Talk Geek for a Sec, where we actually talk geek for longer than a sec. We actually go on for as long as we think the podcast is good as well.
We're gonna shoot for 45 to 45. We'll see.
The other ones would never be longer. This one would just be like, see, like, it is the intro, This is the type of intro that we start doing. So a little background of ourselves. Me and Brandon have known each other for a really, really, really long time. I am 21. Brandon,
I'm 20. Gonna be 21 in 3 months. 3 months, baby.
We're almost there. Big 2, 1. But yeah, me and Brandon have actually known each other since kindergarten, and I can say, we've had a good friendship. But I think the best thing that can come out of that friendship is our love for Spider-Man. Shout out Peter Parker.
Shout out Parker.
That's him.
Shout out Andrew Garfield.
Shout out.
That's my Spider-Man.
Shout out Toby. That's what I grew up with. But you know what? Shout out Tom Holland too.
Shout out Tom
you really be out here doing this thing. But not just Spider-Man in general, of course. That we all love him, and hope I say in our own opinion, we do believe that Spider-Man is the best superhero. He is the best superhero, most relatable. But just superheroes in general, and whenever just us talking nerd in general, honestly, Marvel, DC, anime.
Touch on everything.
Star Wars, all that, anything you could possibly imagine. There are still some stuff that we haven't seen that we would actually like to get into as well. So we like to bring our broad perspective of things. Again, we know what we know, and we would like to keep on learning. We will be what our podcast is going to be like is talk about what's going on, up to date news on productions of stuff, movies, shows, stuff from the past, stuff like going into the future. Where you just kind of comics, of course. What is it called? Manga.
Yeah.
Sorry for my pronunciation. I'm not like that, but we're just gonna gather all that together, and we're just gonna put it in, and we're just gonna put it into the show. And we really hope that we get a pretty good audience that would actually like to listen to us. But we're doing this because we love it, and we hope that other people will also love it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Individually, again, my name is Nene. My actual name is Nathaniel Zapata. I'm not going to give you my whole address because I'm not trying to have people
chill out.
I'm not trying to have it, I don't have that big of a fan base yet, but I do go by the name of Mr. 210. But we'll get into that later.
You know what that is. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
You know.
But I say my knowledge of everything that we have on is, comic knowledge wise, I've read a good few decent comics in my time.
Yeah.
I say the most series that I know most knowledge of is the Amazing Spider-Man series. With shout out Dyko and Stan Lee. The rest in power to him. But I say my favorite comic issue is King in Black. If are you familiar with it? No.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
So King in Black is actually the it's about I hope everyone's favorite Venom, Eddie Brock. But Flash Thompson does come and play. He does play a pretty good, plays a pretty damn good Venom too. But Eddie Brock, the main guy, whenever you think of Venom, you think of a villain. If you're up to date, you kind of just know he's more of an anti-hero / hero, depending on what variant of Venom it is in general. But in the issue, Eddie has a son. Woo! Eddie has a son, bro. Shit basically just goes down with a whole bunch of symbiotes coming onto Earth, and all the Avengers and Spider-Man come in and kind of help out to each other. So again, it's Eddie's story, but it's a very beautiful art put together, and again, that's my favorite one. It goes from Marvel wise. DC, I'm very familiar. I say my favorite DC superhero is the Flash. Is a shout out. Honestly, going towards just Barry Allen and Wally West, of course. All the other Flashes I think they're cool, and they're shout out Jake Garrett, of course, the old Flash. But I hate you.
I don't know DC like you do.
See, and again, we're just talking about comics right now in general, but I think that one thing that me and Brandon can agree on is that we watched all the MCU movies.
We did.
Have you seen all the DC movies?
Of course. Yeah.
We've seen all the DC movies. So movie wise, we're pretty good in the knowledge of it because we've the way that I've been brought up to it. I want to say from memory, my first movie was Spider-Man. Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
So as for memory, and I think it just kind of like stuck in there. After that, we just go up all the way from there. But especially. We're some 2001 babies, you know what I'm saying? I say from my perspective, like the older ones that came out before our time, I'm talking about like the Batman and the Superman movies, I'm talking about the really old ones with Christopher, I forgot what his name was, to play Superman, but something like that, right? I don't want to get any hate, we actually don't know, but also, with the other, like the Batman movies that we come up with, shout out to Michael Keaton, he was there. Yeah, Christopher Reeves. I think that's everyone's Superman grown up, And then of course we got Michael Keaton, who is the Vulture now, which is kind of funny. But he played Batman twice actually, Batman and Batman Returns. Yeah, Batman Returns had Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
That's right, the worst looking penguin.
Yeah.
Honestly, that used to freak me out as a kid.
No, honestly, like he was kind of scary. That was actually, I mean, like it was that, and of course we had Catwoman in that as well. Other Batmans in the movie. I just want to make sure that we. Y'all can't see it, but we got Danny DeVito out here. He really be looking at, but like look at the nose. If you look at a comic of it, you kind of see the accuracy, but this looks like a very darker, given Penguin, of course.
So ugly. It's gross.
I'm trying to exactly from memory, just trying to figure out who came out after. I know we had Val Kilmer. He played a little bit, and we had not that many people remember the worst Batman movie, Batman and Robin. George Clooney played Batman. And we had Arnold Schwarzenegger in that too.
I think I wiped that one from my memory.
So we're not really gonna kind of like keep that going, but I mean those were the Batmans that came out before. Like, we see right here, Michael Keaton, 1989, Val Kilmer, 95, George Clooney, 97, and after that we didn't get anything until 2005, which in my opinion, still to this day, the best Batman is Christian Bale. Physique wise. We've seen some bigger Batmans in some comics. Ben Affleck's a physique guy. He's pretty good as well. I think we had kept him around, but actually put him in some good movies.
Yeah,
I feel like he would have been. Not saying that all the movies are bad. They're
messing up DC.
Unique in a certain way, but DC has not been performing so well. That's why I always say this thing where, again, I love the Marvel comics, but Marvel does do better in movies.
Right.
DC storyline wise, they do better in comics. They're not doing really well in movies.
Yeah.
I think
it's Warner Brothers. Honestly,
Warner Brothers really be messing up the game. Just let the directors do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's why we kind of had to get that 4-hour Zack Snyder movie, which was a pretty good.
That was good.
I
liked it.
I liked it a lot just because they. Actually, with the amount of time that they had, I'm hoping they put in a more detail than what we got in the last one. And there is a big significant change in a whole bunch of plots to the story, a few different designs.
Yeah. I feel like the tone of Zack Snyder's Justice League is exactly how DC should have been going from like that kind of dark, like very serious, like tone of the whole film is how it should have been, like from the start.
Yeah, I know it's going,
just like Batman vs Superman, like that one was pretty serious.
Whenever I did see Batman v Superman, I say during that point, it started off good. There were little ups and downs. I honestly thought if they really focused on just the Batman versus Superman, it would have made it into a really, just really amazing movie. But adding Wonder Woman was a nice little touch, but I think it was a little too much at the same time. The one that went just way over the top was Doomsday. Yeah. That was fuck that guy. Fuck that character in the movie.
I did like Lex Luthor though. What's his name? Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, he went kind of nuts in that.
He kills that role.
So that was a really really different take on it. Side note about that movie. So Batman v Superman. Whenever I was talking about the other Batman movies before, we did get 4 Batman movies before our time. Of course, we had 2 George Clooney. I don't think anyone would want to see that. 2 George Clooney's. But no, 2 Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney. So that's 4 Batman movies. And within that run, it is actually said that those movies are actually supposed to be connected. Actually, they're actually supposed to be the same Bruce Wayne.
Just
but
like different actors.
Just different actors.
So like different points in time.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what people are coming around to. And whenever, of course, they did, the Christian Bale series or the what's the director of it again? I should really know. Christopher Nolan, right? Christopher Nolan, whenever he did it, of course, he kind of just did like a little reboot of it. But whenever making Batman v Superman, we found some knowledge about, what Batman are we getting into the universe? Because we know that when the DCU was made, the first main movie of making their own cinematic universe was Man of Steel. Great movie, beautiful movie. Shout out,
definitely the best.
Shout out Henry Cavill.
It's definitely the best DC movie.
Again, Henry Cavill, my Superman.
He does good. He's good.
But they say bringing in the Batman that they give us a little depth, and we later learn on Ben Affleck's Batman. He's been Batman for 20 years.
Yeah, because Robin's dead.
Robin's dead.
We
don't. It's not really. Well, Zack Snyder does say that the Robin that is Susan was actually Dick Grayson or whatever, and not Jason Todd or whatever. It's a mixed up story, but we kind of just threw that concept out. But so he's been Batman for 20 years, and a lot of people were speculating, and I don't know if it was confirmed or not for sure, but they say that with the combination of those 4 old Batman movies, that Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be that same Bruce Wayne as well. So instead of the Batman v Superman, people are saying it's supposed to be Batman 5, Superman Dawn of Justice.
Okay, that makes. I guess it
makes sense cinematically wise.
Why they wouldn't have put verses?
Exactly right. So whenever I was looking at that, I was like, whoa, that actually makes it pretty good. And looking into it, Ben Affleck would have done, amazing. I think the movie he did do amazing. They really killed him in the Justice League movies. I think they didn't do him right. It's really sad to see that they weren't letting him direct his own Batman movie, and I think rumor has it that the upcoming Flash movie.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about
everything I'm hearing about that movie. I don't want to.
We will get into more of what's going on with DC later on, but all we can say is right now is big changes, and is it for the good? No,
we'll see.
But
I don't think so, but. They could. You never know.
They could do some kind of a little bit of a redemption, but we'll just see from there. But again, both concepts of Marvel and DC do have their ups and downs. I'm not saying everything what Marvel does is perfect. I'm not saying that everything that DC is bad, or just DC in general. But yeah, that's pretty good. So what about you, Brandon? We see that you kind of not really having the knowledge of the comics. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have the knowledge.
So what do you got? What do you got going on over here?
What do you mean?
Tell us about yourself.
About myself.
About the knowledge you got, bro. Like I said,
all I have is just fucking movie knowledge. Yeah, just I watch movies and I guess I'm more of a theorist. I guess I try to figure out what the next plan is. I'm pretty sure everyone who watches a Marvel movie wants to know and figure out what's going to happen.
Kind of this theorizing, kind of getting
pretty much.
I do got to say that Brandon probably watches the most movies, or at least not. I would say watches the most movies, but I say watches the most movies over and over again. I saw Spider-Man 4. I think I saw it 4 times. I'm not gonna lie, 4 or 5 times. I've watched. Wait, which one? The first one?
There's a new one.
The new one. No Way Home.
In theaters, yeah. I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times.
We won't say anything about that movie yet. I feel like viewers are still a little young in it. But honestly, all I'm saying is y'all haven't seen the movie yet. hurry up
If you
again,
haven't,
dude.
it's
Like I mean, and honestly, either go into the movies now when we're saying it, or you're just never gonna watch it.
yeah.
You're really
Or
not
you're just
gonna watch
gonna
it
wait for it to show up on
TV out of
streaming
nowhere,
or
and you're just not gonna know what the hell is going on.
Well, maybe next episode we'll do our review of that one. Yeah, all I do is watch the movies. I think the only comic that I've ever read was I currently have the Death of Spider-Man comic, just because that one's pretty significant in terms of Spider-Man's
Which one are we talking?
history, story.
Do you know if we're talking Amazing or Ultimate?
I think it's Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
Ultimate Spider-Man, Death of Spider-Man.
With the
when
big
Miles
the
takes
big
over.
Green Goblin.
Yeah,
That's a very sad issue.
Yeah, that one's tough.
The way it ends, a little bit more back knowledge of the Ultimate Spider-Man, who for people that don't know, is not related at all to the Amazing Spider-Man, because we all know Amazing Spider-Man is Earth 616,
Mhm.
so that's our main source of superheroes, and I think I should be correct, but I think the Ultimate Universe was 1610 actually,
That makes more sense.
which would be kind of funny if it was. Yeah, dude, I got it right. Yeah, so Ultimate Universe is 1610, and we do got the same superheroes, of course, but
It's still Marvel.
Different. It's still Marvel. Different writers, different concepts of how they want to portray it. There are some key factors where it's the same kind of origin story from those superheroes, but they go down a slightly different path or whatever, and that was a very short run issue for, I think it was only
There was only
30?
Yeah.
30 issues until then.
And I think the Death of Spider-Man is one of the later ones. So after that they didn't, because then Miles took over.
Yeah, Miles Morales is from the Ultimate Universe,
So
and then he actually he's in the Earth 616 now, because for people that don't know, Ultimate Universe just doesn't exist anymore. He got fucked up.
Yeah.
We'll later kind of just run through that here and there.
We'll have to look up little things about that one.
Yeah. So, but Ultimate Universe. I don't know if do you remember whenever you were little watching the cartoon Avengers movies? Like it was just yeah. Like and then the kind of like followed on of what was it? The New Avengers or the Young Avengers? Avengers, when they have kids and shit like that. It's like a post-apocalyptic future and shit. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, I think I know. Avengers.
Yeah. Cartoon.
Okay, yeah, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Earth's Mightiest. Yeah. Okay. The Ultimate Avengers. Ultimate Avengers movie. Yeah. No. I'm not. That's the show. I'm talking about these. Came out like in 2006.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's the Ultimate Universe. They actually wrote those movies based on that, and it kind of bled on into the next Avengers, which came out 2 years later after those movies. Actually. So yeah, like in those movies, that was the universe of it. And it was kind of cool that it's kind of cool and kind of weird at the same time that they really bled on of that series, because I think during that era, if you kind of look at comic book art-ish type thing, they made the new Ultimate Universe for that time period. I think most people are familiar with the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
But everyone knows that Earth 616, of course, is the main one. It's just we've had those characters run for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
As we know, like even like Spider-Man wasn't even in like it wasn't even like Marvel yet. It was the Amazing Fantasy, bro.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Again, like if you look at those issues, those were like fucking chicken scratch, or that's kind of crazy. But we as you see now, like people grow up with different things. Again, like I said, I say we both can agree. We both grew up with Sam Raimi, right?
I did.
Sam Raimi. That was our very first Spider-Man. We grew up with those X-Men movies that Fox made. Did you watch any of them that much? Yeah, like with Hugh Jackman, of course.
Yeah,
the one and only.
The only guy that should ever play Wolverine.
Exactly. If they bring him in, I would actually like to see if they could bring Hugh Jackman just for like a bit, just for like a little bit. No, like for
just in general.
In general. Okay. But I mean, if they do bring someone in, I hope he does great to the part, because Hugh Jackman did amazing, and it would still feel a little weird to see Yeah, like I mean, like I think it also comes to effect. Like we always see Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and whenever they brought in,
Yeah.
do you know what his name is? The Split dude.
The Split dude?
Yeah, the one that plays Professor X now.
Oh, James McAvoy
Is that his
or something?
Is that his
I
name?
think his last name is McAvoy. If I probably butchering his name.
James McAvoy, you got it right. Yeah. So James McAvoy, I felt like people whenever they saw him, they were like, "Whoa, this is a different take."
Yeah.
Well, especially like not like a. I think they were okay with. Do you remember watching X-Men First Class?
Yeah.
I think people really started like kind of be like, "Whoa!" Whenever
because that was like the origin for.
Yeah, what came out was Apocalypse after that. Because
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past.
And then
was after
because
that.
there's 3.
Yeah, so it was First Class, Days of Future Past,
And then
Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix.
And now we have Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, they really botched that one again.
It's an
But
example of more.
honestly, Days of Future Past is an amazing movie.
Honestly, I don't remember that much.
I remember.
I've definitely seen it. I just don't. Is that the one where they fought the Adaptoids or
the new updated Sentinels?
The Sentinels.
Yeah. Forget Adaptoids.
I was thinking of Avengers.
No, yeah. So they got that going. I think, but what I was saying is that I think people really kind of like weird that we're not going to see because we kind of got into our mind that Patrick Stewart wasn't really going to be there that much anymore. It was McAvoy, and that's kind of like why we see a bald McAvoy, which is really weird at some point. But we're like, oh, that's Professor X, of course. Sir Patrick Stewart, though, last movie Logan, that was, I mean, kind of like the end of that was honestly the end of the X-Men era. Basically, people kind of want to say it. Like again, like we did, of course, had I don't really remember sure.
Dark Phoenix came out after that one, right?
Dark Phoenix did come out after that, but Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse came before that. But in my opinion, I do like to think of that as Logan as the end of that era of
oh, we got New Mutants. I forgot that.
It's technically
not X-Men, but
you know, around
it would be like the next step in the X-Men universe, I guess you could say.
Side note, New Mutants, I would say it's not a bad watch. It's
not
just
terrible.
There was more potential to it.
It was.
What did they say? It's supposed to be a horror movie, not really.
It's supposed to be a horror.
Not really horror
movie
as all, but I wouldn't go crazy, but I would watch it again, and kind of to the sense that it was on TV, I'd watch it. You know,
I think I watched it a couple times.
Yeah, that one time that we went to go see it,
yeah,
that was the only time I watched it. But like, yeah, but I mean, again, like I didn't really thrive to see it again. Like if it was placed in front of me, I'd be like, yeah, I'd watch it. Saw Dark Phoenix once, never touched it again,
Same.
Yeah.
I saw it in theaters in the night.
I was like, I don't even think I kind of want this kind of like near me.
Apocalypse though?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse was pretty good.
Pretty. I think towards the end of it, it was good.
They fight.
That Quicksilver scene though.
That's a classic, right?
That's the mansion, but that wasn't the first time.
Where he saved everybody.
Yeah, the first time that he did it was in Days of Future Past. Whenever they broke Magneto out of the Pentagon, they went in and it was in that kitchen scene. Puts on the headphones.
Yes.
And licking the mustard and shit. That was like, whoa, that's crazy.
I like that Quicksilver.
I mean,
what's the guy's name?
Oh
my god, he's in American Horror Story.
He's in WandaVision.
He is in WandaVision.
You haven't watched it? If you haven't watched WandaVision, go watch WandaVision.
If you haven't watched any of the Marvel,
well, again,
I'm still halfway through Loki.
This guy's lacking behind on the shows.
I've seen it.
I'm kind of up to date. Honestly, honestly, yeah, search up his name real quick. Just search up actor. Yeah. We actually did
Evan Peters.
We did get 2 Quicksilvers actually. One the MCU. Well, technically,
Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's gonna be Kraven.
I really like to see how. Well, again, they've done it with 2 different characters. Of course, they've done it in shows and different movies, and I say like the older audiences are like, oh, older than us, like way older. whenever they've seen like movies with us or take us to the theaters, they're like, "Oh, wasn't this guy like
like
this
like
different
he was,
character?" Yeah, like especially like I think it was like Chris Evans, good example. I think he was one of the many first ones to really switch characters, going from the Human Torch to Captain America, and he made it a but like I feel like kind of going into now. I mean, I think they're very. In my opinion, I think both of those are very iconic roles, but Captain America, of course, trumps it all.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, though.
2000. Okay, so he last appeared. So Chris Evans was Torch in 2007. When did Captain America come out?
Captain America came out like 2011. Am I right?
Yeah, 2011.
2011.
First Avenger, but
that was a little bit of a gap because I think Chris Evans kind of went like deep underground for a bit. Again, he played it's kind of weird because seeing Chris Evans play as the Human Torch, Johnny Storm is a very funny person. You can't really take him seriously as a superhero.
They're two very different characters.
Two very different characters. So to most people's minds, we'd see that Chris Evans. We always think Chris Evans is just a fucking goofball because it didn't even help in his case too that he was in a movie called The Losers. Have you ever seen that movie? It's basically like a mercenary movie, and he plays a funny dude in that movie too. So like, people announce Chris Evans, Captain America. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Kind of like funny dude, but he for the past how long was he Captain America for? He was about 9 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, 2011 to
2019 is when Endgame came out, right?
So it's
8 years. So
Tony Stark was the one that's been there for 10.
So Captain America, Chris Evans again, like same person. He aced it. Really did that. That was the perfect choice for a Captain America.
Honestly, the big three right there: Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
They casted beautiful.
You can't cast
anyone else. I can't think of anyone else that would actually replace them. I know that Tom Cruise for Tony Stark. I think I would have.
That would have been weird to see.
I'm pretty sure at the time I don't think it would have been weird, but honestly, looking at Robert Downey Jr.
If Tom Cruise was Iron Man, I don't think it would have done as far as it did today.
Tom Cruise could not act at that expense. He couldn't act like
not that Robert Downey Jr. carried the franchise, but he set it off. You know what I mean?
But I think looking at Tom Cruise, I think Tom Cruise is a very serious actor.
He is.
You have to be Robert Downey Jr.'s energy, which is Tony Stark's energy.
Yeah.
To really
just has the look.
Kind of ace that part. Chris Evans. Oh, not Chris Evans. Chris Hemsworth. Not a good start for Thor. Thor as a character, yes, but just movie in general.
I think they were still kind of figuring that out. That's why, because that's like Thor's a god, so it's mystical. You know what I mean? And
so they throw shit at it like over and over again.
Kind of weird. But the Dark World.
Thor, the Dark Thor.
Thor, the Dark Thor.
We're really not gonna get it. We won't talk about, again, my opinion, lowest Marvel movie in my opinion. Down next to.
It's kind of hard. That's the only one that I really put down there.
Yeah,
I think
every single other movie.
At the very least, they're all good.
Yeah, very solid. Whatever they had it. A lot of people say that Iron Man 3 is down there.
I do see that. I see that at the bottom of a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, Iron Man 3. I mean,
that's definitely my least.
It's in that category of, we see like top, mid, bottom. It's in the bottom area, but not like low, like very like high bottom.
Yeah, and I think it's just because usually the sequels are the ones to fall off, especially being a third movie. So I think that's
and I think what a lot of these movies kind of save is the fan hype for it, because we just got Iron Man, right? But then they announced Iron Man 2, and what most people, I don't think most people would have seen it as much as they saw Iron Man if they didn't add War Machine to it. A lot of people wanted to go and see it, right? Because that was the main hype, like, oh, War Machine is in this movie.
And then
War
Machine, we know.
We all know, we know who the real Iron Patriot is. We're not going to talk about that. But Endgame, they actually did put his colors back as that.
The Iron Patriot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like a little, again, like, I think what the difference between Marvel and DC is what they've really like been lacking is that Marvel like jumped on it right away, and DC was really late to the game.
They were.
By late to the game, if you really see, Christian Bale was that era. I think they really couldn't do anything until after Christian Bale.
I don't think they were. DC wasn't even thinking about a whole. Let's bring all these.
They made Man of Steel like right after that. They were just
thinking of solo movies,
and then okay, let's do this. Let's bring it in.
When did Man of Steel come out? Was that 2011 too?
It was after the Dark Knight trilogy. Man of Steel was 2013, I think.
2013.
I think The Dark Knight was, if I'm not wrong, 2012 actually.
Because that's
Dark Knight was 2008. Dark Knight Rises was 2012. I remember that because I just remember like the next movie I did see was it was probably a Marvel movie. I just don't remember from the top of my head, but Man of Steel did come after that. And again, like that's why Marvel really just has that jump, you know, and
head start.
It feels really, really bad or whatever. I mean, what was it? But I think they are coming up in some terms again. We were talking about Marvel a lot, but DC doesn't cast bad. The first Wonder Woman movie was amazing.
It was
amazing. Gal got it. Perfect.
It's hated.
Perfect. No, very
well. I mean, 84. I get the hate for it. I understand.
No. I mean, personally, 84 is not it.
Me personally, I like the Wonder Woman movies just because Wonder Woman, if I had to pick a favorite DC, even though I don't know DC that much, it would be Wonder Woman.
Side note, Gal Gadot, if you ever do watch this podcast, we very much love you. You are beautiful.
You're my favorite DC character.
Yeah, okay, I don't know about that.
Thank you for doing
it. but again, Henry Cavill, great Superman choice. Ben Affleck at the time, very amazing. Again, I think people, whenever they were making movies back then, they weren't really like thinking of looking that role. I think anyone back then could have played Batman. Because if you look at Michael Keaton's Batman back then, he didn't look like Bruce Wayne at all.
Bruce Wayne kind of needs to be like a bigger.
Exactly. Then Val Kilmer actually.
If you really think about it, he almost needs to look like Superman, but just like more human, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I kind of get you. Like honestly, we kind of look at we have a picture of Henry Cavill, like kind of like a small picture. We look at it, could have played Bruce Wayne.
That's what I'm saying.
Could have played Bruce Wayne.
If he Henry Cavill have blue eyes or is he have brown eyes?
Blue, actually. Either way,
he could have. Yeah, like he definitely
could have played Bruce Wayne. And then we got
I think his face is more Superman, but his body definitely, his physique definitely could have been more Batman-esque.
Very much so. Can you search up who Cyborg is?
Ray Fisher.
I
only know that because I've been seeing a lot of him and Josh Whedon, who directed the regular Justice League, they've been going at it.
Oh, really?
Like
recently?
Well, because Ray Fisher is the reason. Like that whole thing about it was Ray Fisher like called out him and was like, he's the reason that Suicide Squad.
Justice League.
He's the reason Justice League was like a bad movie. And recently, Josh Whedon said it wasn't me. He was like, Ray Fisher is a bad actor. But honestly, he killed it as Cyborg.
He killed it as Cyborg. I would like to say, in my opinion, I hate Josh Whedon. We hate him, especially for some of the accusations that have been going on set. The reshoots, adding some stuff. I don't know if you had heard, but there was some Gal Gadot stuff that had happened that Gal Gadot just did not like approve of. So Whedon is a fuck. Again, side note, let's talk Geek for a sec. We like to have some little explicit language here and there.
Yeah,
but we're not gonna go all the way to the top. We're gonna keep it as much PG friendly as we can, but
we're not gonna take it too far.
We're gonna take it too far, but
we'll throw out a word.
Throw out words here and there. But if you do take offense to this isn't your show.
Just move on. Next
move
podcast,
on. But we do keep on the topic of us being nerds, us being geeks. Mm-hmm. So Ray Fisher. Amazing. There actually is another Cyborg as well in the Doom Patrol show. Different actor.
I never watched
it. I do want to get into it. I actually want to see it.
Let's talk about it. Tell me about it.
What I've heard so far about it is that from my knowledge, I've watched the Titans show, the first season. Honestly, haven't really gotten.
Is that good? didn't watch it. That's all I needed. Okay.
I think very first episodes are really rough. There's a point where, of course, the Robin in that show is Dick Grayson,
Right.
but then Jason Todd shows up at a point. The reason I don't really like it is because it just doesn't really. They made it very. Again, I'm very open to people having original ideas, directors wise, and creating their own movies. Because I mean, not every single movie is accurate to the comic, but there are stuff thrown out there where it's little minor parts where like, oh, people are like, oh yes, that's accurate to this and stuff like that, which Marvel does a great job at.
Eternals is the one thing that they've really switched up. A lot of those characters were supposed to be like males.
Yeah.
Like Ajax for one was like a dude in the comics, but then they made it somehow had just little side notes, right?
Yeah. I actually didn't know that. But coming to DC, they switch up some major parts, and a lot of the fan base is why they're really losing it there is because I don't want to keep it like not like if there was like minor tweaks in here, it wouldn't be that bad. But like in the show Titans, they make Batman really seem like a fucking asshole. Like people just like hate Batman basically. And I mean that's what I'm getting from the show and like little like I mean I know that Dick Grayson didn't leave Batman because it's like, oh, I'm tired of being treated like a kid. Right. But in the show they make it seem that Batman was very violent and strict and
abusive. I mean,
yeah, kind of like when they make a scene and like Jason Todd in that show kind of aced it, but he's a little shit in the show too. He's like I'm not gonna lie, but Raven, great casting for Raven. Actually, let's bring up that that cast right there. Raven goes by Tegan Croft. In the show, she looks very accurate. Anya Teal'c as Starfire. I think, in my opinion, it's very hard to find a Starfire because in the show, not in the show, in the Teen Titans show, the cartoon and animated series, amazing show, best cartoon show, honestly.
Yeah, by the way.
But also comic wise, she's orange.
Yeah,
you know,
alien.
She's an alien. Of course, you can't really go with it. And it goes like again, like there are different characters in movie wise where African Americans are casted as characters in the comics portrayed as white. And again, like Nick Fury, amazing. And again, it came to the point where they even added that Nick Fury in the Ultimate Universe. Fury, yeah. So that was pretty dope. Yeah. Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Yes.
He is Max is white in the comic, but they didn't really do well to his character, which I think it comes weird is that like they made Jamie Foxx the blue character in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. I think the blue character. But I think interesting. I think they did that for a reason. If you know what I'm trying to catch on for. Trying to catch on what I'm saying is why they made him the blue character. No. If
it's obvious, I'm sorry.
It's fine, but like in the African American sense is what I'm bringing up because I feel like if it was a white character they would have done
yellow.
the yellow green type thing, but they did the blue, which his blue actually looked cool.
It did look.
The costumes look stupid.
He looks.
If
being infused with all that.
And No Way Home when they first bring him in when he's still blue. If they would have kept him like that throughout the movie, that would have been amazing. But then they changed him to the yellow
tech suit shit that he put on.
Yeah, the little lightning bolt or whatever. Yeah, it was really stupid. But No Way Home, redemption for Jamie Foxx.
Redemption for
all the characters in that movie. Yeah. Sorry if you haven't seen it. No, we're not gonna say that.
Jamie Foxx is there.
If you know,
see the trailer.
You know. But then. I think this on a deal for Starfire, I really believe that she should have just been straight orange. there are scenes in the point where she activates her powers and she becomes orange, but then she's just in her the regular skin tone of all time. And I would say that for whoever got casted, I would rather just see Starfire completely orange.
We know they can do it. Well, I don't think DC's ever done something like that besides like.
And then it also comes
alien character Martian.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian. He's the only like in terms of like I think live action. He's the only one that's been like alien that's actually
For a while,
been
you
made
know?
to look like an alien.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of these actors also just don't like the CGI. They really like to portray themselves as doing. Because I've also heard like a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I don't want to," or like, and a costume sense also. Like, I mean, I think it's very hard for an actor to really portray the expressions of their faces whenever they're behind a mask the whole time. I'd say like the only people that can really do that is like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. But like if you take a sense of like, well, I mean, basically just Spider-Man, honestly. You see Iron Man here and there, but like you gotta just know the expressions, you know. But I think that some actors just really have a problem with that. Ryan Potter plays Beast Boy in Titans. But again, there comes a sense where like there could have been any cast, but they don't keep him green the whole time. And we see Beast Boy green majority of the time in like comics, and he's supposed to be green.
He's like supposed to be.
He turns green for like a bit, and then he turns into an animal. They basically kind of just make it seem it was just like the origin story of the Titans forming, but the way they did it, I just didn't like it. And again, like we can watch it. We can watch it. We just see like what we really think about it. We'll go back into a review of it also. But I think they have 3 seasons now. I know
they do have 3 seasons.
Second season brought in Superboy actually. I think that's what, and I think after that, Dick Grayson actually forms into, which I think he actually looks really good as Superboy.
I think he was older. He could have been Superman.
Yeah, for real. But Brenton Thwaites, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, he's Dick Grayson in the show. He actually turns into Nightwing in the 2nd season, and then the 3rd season they bring in the Red Hood actually.
Really?
Yeah. So the Jason Todd they have in this actually is the Red Hood, and I mean a lot of people. I feel like that's actually Batman's most famous arc under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like just remake and do it over and over again, and it's on probably like one of my favorite Batman arcs, comic wise too, and all that. How we doing battery wise?
Let me step away for a sec. I just need to plug this line.
We need to make sure that we don't lose mic service real quick. But again, show wise, good. Marvel shows too. Be doing.
Is this the extension cord?
Yeah. Marvel shows actually be doing amazing. Actually, we've seen the concepts of the 3 Daredevil seasons. But Brandon, you haven't watched them, have you?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I only watched the 1st season of Daredevil. I watched season 1 of Jessica Jones.
See that? I mean, Jessica Jones is amazing too. I say that Daredevil, all 3 seasons are solid, and all 3 seasons of Jessica Jones are solid too. But I think Jessica Jones, you have to find a really sweet spot for it because that's a very kind of like low key crime invested show. Like it's very slow build up.
They're all
in a very dark sense.
They're all street level.
Yeah, street level.
Like,
yeah. Luke Cage 1st season was phenomenal. I liked it. 2nd season, that's all I gotta say. And Iron Fist was probably the lowest. Oh well, the lowest individually. Defenders was complete booty.
Was it?
Yes.
That's what I had heard.
There were a few other here and there where is it working?
No.
Damn.
That's tough. Do you have an outlet back there?
I should do, yeah.
I'm gonna slide that over.
Just do this real quick.
Just careful, don't pull. Otherwise, we'll lose audio.
Honestly, we can honestly start wrapping up right here for a bit. Yeah, let's just make sure that we got everything going. But yeah, so as you can kind of see with the flow of what we're doing here, again, I would actually like to talk more about this, but I think kind of like mashing up everything is if you really say like it's a lot. There's a lot out there.
There's a lot out there that we could cover, and it's kind of, I guess it's gonna be difficult that we're kind of starting at this point, you know.
Yeah, there are other people. Again, I wouldn't want to say like competitors, but we are competing. You know,
we're gonna try our hardest to get out there, get up there. You know,
I say like this one, we got to introduce ourselves, of course. I say next week, or next, or just whenever we can, just record, right? Next episode, let's talk anime.
We can talk anime.
We can talk a little bit about anime, like say like what we like
that one.
There.
I probably know a little bit more than this.
And I'd say we can get a special guest in here. I think my roommate Josh actually is a very anime type-esque person that would actually love to put his input on this because he has very broad knowledge of it, of course. But I hope you guys see what we're trying to do.
Right. It's kind of what it'll be like.
What it'll be like?
Just talking about
whatever pops in our mind, and we'll just keep it going from there.
If we jump around a lot, it's just
jump around a lot. I feel like we'll take some notes. Yeah. We'll kind of plan out exactly what we want to go through now. But our main focus is do anime next week, and then we just keep on planning from there. And that's a very us from our side again. I'm Nene.
I've been Brandon.
We hope we've accommodated you for this first pilot series, and we just want to see how this takes off, and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
So see y'all later.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Yes, sir.